Every morning, the world wakes up in comfort. The bed is warm, the room is dark, and the mind is still lost in dreams. But not for me. It's 3 a.m., and while the streets are empty and the world sleeps, I'm out here. There are no cars, no people, just silence. And in that silence, I find strength. People always ask me where I get my drive, where I find the motivation to push harder, to keep going when no one else will. The truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's what keeps you moving. Right now, my strength comes from knowing that everyone else is in bed, hiding from the grind, dreading the day ahead. Meanwhile, I'm out here embracing it, getting after it, and growing stronger while they grow weaker. It's not about the miles I run, the push-ups I do, or the weights I lift. It's about what those things do to my mind. You don't build resilience sitting on the couch. You don't develop discipline by choosing comfort. You forge it in the darkness, in the cold, when no one is watching. That's where growth happens. People always want to know how I stay motivated. The truth? I don't. I don't rely on motivation. I rely on habit, on discipline. I've trained myself to extract motivation from the struggle itself. I don't need a pat on the back. I don't need applause. I do the work because I know what it takes, and I know what's waiting for me on the other side of pain. I've spent 99% of my life training alone. No one was there to push me, to tell me I could do it. It was me against me, and that's why no one can motivate me better than myself. I have a mental resume full of pain, suffering, and victories that no one else knows about. When I'm down, I reach into that bank of experiences, and I remind myself of what I've been through. I remind myself that I was the one who carried the weight, who ran the miles, who suffered in silence. And if I did it before, I can do it again. For a long time, I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to fit in. I wanted people to like me, so I lied. I pretended. I acted like I enjoyed things I didn't just to be part of the crowd. But that wasn't me. That was weakness. And it wasn't until I let go of that need for acceptance that I started to truly grow. I found out who I was, and that's when everything changed. Because once you know who you are, once you embrace the struggle instead of running from it, you become unstoppable. Most people spend their entire lives trying to figure out who they are. They drift, they follow, they conform. They set goals based on what others expect, not what truly drives them. But if you want to find yourself, put yourself in situations that suck. Put yourself in the pain. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's when you'll learn who you are. And it's not going to be easy. There will be failures, setbacks, and days where you want to quit. But that's where the real work begins. Too many people want shortcuts. They want the quick fix, the hack, the easy way out. But there is no hack. There is no shortcut to greatness. It's just hard work, day in and day out. And that's why most people don't make it. Because they're not willing to suffer. They don't want to embrace the grind. They'd rather complain about how unfair life is, how things aren't going their way, how others have it easier. But the truth is, none of that matters. What matters is what you do with the time you have. The circumstances you've been given. Stop looking left and right. Stop comparing yourself to others. This is your journey, your race, your battle. And the only person you need to compete against is the person you were yesterday. People are lost. They operate on autopilot, reacting to their environment instead of controlling it. They set goals based on what society tells them they should want, instead of what truly drives them. And that's why they never reach their full potential. Because they don't know themselves. They're afraid to strip away the distractions and face who they really are. But I did. I tore myself down to nothing. I let go of the fake identities, the lies, the excuses, and when I did, I found the real me. And that's when I started winning. So what do you do when it's cold, wet, and dark? When your body hurts, and your mind is screaming at you to stay in bed? That's when you decide who you are. That's when you level up, because I know that when everyone else is making excuses, when they're choosing comfort over growth, I'm out here. And that fires me up. That gives me the edge. Because most people are weak. Most people settle. Most people never push beyond their limits. And that's what separates the winners from the losers. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. I used to think being alone was a weakness. That if I wasn't surrounded by people, I was failing. But now I thrive in solitude. I embrace it. Because when you rely on others for validation, for motivation, for support, you become weak. You become dependent. But when you train yourself to be your own biggest supporter, when you build yourself from the ground up, you become unbreakable. No one was there when I was overweight, when I was struggling, when I was lost. No one handed me a roadmap to success. I had to create my own path. And that's why I don't need external motivation. I don't need someone cheering me on. Because I built my own belief system. I know what I've been through. I know what I've overcome, and that's what fuels me. When times get hard, when doubt creeps in, I don't crumble. I don't look for a way out. I go back to the truth. And the truth is, I built myself up from nothing. I clawed my way out of the darkness. I carried the weight when no one else would. And that's why I keep going. That's why I push harder. Because I know the power of suffering. I know the strength that comes from struggle. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Most people want comfort. They want the easy road. They want the applause without the work. But that's not how this game works. You don't get to be great without sacrifice. You don't get to be elite without suffering. And if you're not willing to pay the price, you'll never reach your full potential. So stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop making excuses. Get up. Get after it. Every single day. Because no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to carry the weight. No one's going to run the miles. It's on you. Always has been, always will be. Stay hard,